Chapter 2. Graham. Graham smiled as he recognized the blonde woman entering Fire Dreams. She had been a hostess with them while getting back on her feet, and though she still popped in often, it wasn't the same without her sweet smile lighting up the place. "Tia, good to see you. Table for two?" He didn't recognize the woman with Tia, but that wasn't unusual. Fire Beach had a large population, and in Tia's line of work, she often lunched with editors or publishers from other areas. Although this woman looked too simple to be in the publishing business. Tia turned to the woman. "Are you hungry? I don't mind grabbing an early dinner if you are." The woman's face turned a bright shade of red, and her eyes dropped to the floor. She mumbled something under her breath, and while Graham didn't catch all of it, Tia must have, because she smiled and nodded at Graham. "Yes, we'll take a table for two, and some of your time if you have it." Graham glanced around the restaurant. It wasn't quite dinner time yet, so the place wasn't full, and he had a few other people working as well. Besides, his curiosity was piqued now. There was no way he would say no. "I can probably give you a few minutes." After grabbing 2 menus from the podium, Graham led the way to a booth near the back. Somehow he felt the women might need a little privacy. "How about I get us some drinks, and then I'm all yours until the place gets busy?" "That sounds great, Graham. Thank you," Tia said. "We'll take water for now." The woman with her said nothing as she slid into one side of the booth. "3 waters it is." Graham sure hoped the silent woman's story was on Tia's topic list. He was certainly curious as to who she was. He filled the drinks quickly and then returned to the booth. Tia scooted in a little so he could sit down next to her. "Graham, this is Jenny. She's just arrived in town, and she needs a job. A little birdie told me you were looking for some help." "I see." Graham looked at the woman across from him. She appeared clean, but mousy. Her eyes flicked only briefly to his before dropping again to her lap. "Do you have any restaurant experience, Jenny?" A slender hand reached up and tucked a strand of her brown hair behind her ears. A little. I worked at a fast food restaurant when I first graduated high school." Her voice was soft and hesitant. "And how long ago was that?" Her eyes met his briefly. 6 years ago?" "Have you worked anywhere since?" Tia asked, as if hoping she might get more out of the girl. The girl shook her head once. "I haven't been allowed to." "What do you mean you haven't been allowed to?" Jenny looked up and met Tia's questioning eyes. "For the last few years, I've been living with someone. He didn't let me get a job." Graham ran a hand across his chin as he and Tia exchanged glances. He wanted to help the girl. It was clear there was something awful in her past, but he wasn't sure he could take a chance on someone who had little experience. Plus, Jordan would give him an earful if he hired the girl without running a background check. As if realizing what the stretch of silence might mean, Jenny lifted her eyes and held Graham's gaze. "Please, I know you don't know me, and I probably sound a little crazy, but I only have a few dollars left to my name. I need a job so I can afford a place to stay and food to eat. I may be young and inexperienced, but I'm not stupid, and I'll work harder than anyone else." "And I'll vouch for her," Tia said. "If she doesn't work out, or whatever, I'll cover the costs." Jenny turned her eyes on Tia. "Why would you do that for me? You just met me." Tia's soft smile held the weight of her story. A story this woman didn't know, but Graham did. "Because people did it for me once. They helped me out when I didn't know who I was, and when I remembered how awful I had once been." She turned to Graham and fixed him with a pointed stare. "Because that's what we do, right, Graham?" And just like that, he knew he was hiring this girl. Tia was right. They had taken a chance on her. Well, Jordan had. And it had been one of their best decisions. If Tia saw something in this woman, then Graham wasn't going to argue with her. She was a pretty good judge of character, which is what he would tell Jordan. Hopefully his brother and co-owner would understand. Why don't you two decide what you're eating while I get some paperwork for you to fill out? Jenny's eyes widened and glistened with unshed tears. Really? You're willing to take a chance on me? It's what we do, Graham said as he edged out of the booth. Just don't make me regret it. She shook her head. I won't. I promise. Graham wasn't sure what that was worth, but he did feel there was something about this woman, something worth taking a chance on.